Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a little collection of things here to show you. They are all from AliExpress and I have this little flower set here. It's got 3 parts to the flower and I've kind of stamped them out here just to show you. That one on the left has the some gold embossing done with the outline stamp. So yeah, the flower takes those 3 and that big leaf has 2, and so does the middle leaf, and then the smaller leaf also has 2 as well. And then there's some other little bits and pieces around about. I guess you could make up what they're used for, or use them just how you please. Next up I have this little sunshine stamp set. This is a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch paper in the background, just so that you can tell kind of the size of the stamp. So you can read all the little sentiments there, and that one will be fun to use with some bits and pieces I have coming up. Then I have this alphabet stamp set. It's kind of scripty, quite bold, and I had a little play around. You can see by the size of the piece of paper in the background how big it is, if I zoom out a little bit. And I had a little play around with it, sort of just to give you an idea of what some of the bits and pieces look like. So I have here this little Mr. and Mrs. So this is obviously just using the M, the R, the S, and that little and that's down the very bottom of the stamp set down here. And then I just stamped some background in a lighter blue, and then some of the letters in a darker blue. And then I did some of these frames with the love heart and then letters inside, just to give you an idea of kind of how big everything is and how it all works out. So you can never kind of go wrong with a good alphabet stamp set. I use them all the time. And next up I have this background stamp. These ones are smaller, but as you can see, you are definitely able to join them onto one another quite seamlessly. So you can kind of, the top and the bottom kind of match up, so to speak, or carry on nicely. So this doesn't bother me at all. And in particular, if you have like a MISTI or some sort of stamping tool, that can really help too. Then I have another floral stamp set. This one will be nice and easy, maybe some watercolor, some heat embossing. And then it has 4 sentiments on here, which are kind of, yeah, you can read them, you get the gist of it. Anyway, so it's got some nice leaves and a couple of nice flowers, which I think I could put together a nice wee bunch with. Next up, I have this stencil. This is like a gradation stencil of larger kind of dots to smaller dots. So I've just kind of inked it out here, and I did it twice with this one. So I inked it up with the green, and then I moved it slightly and inked it up with the yellow, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. And then next up I have these little cow buttons. I have no use for these for paper making, for card making really. These are pretty much purely for my daughter, so I hope you don't mind me showing them. But anyway, they are from AliExpress and they're pretty cute. Next up I also have these little envelope dies. Now there are 2 that come in the pack, and you can see this that background paper is a 1 by 1 inch square grid, so you can kind of get an idea of the size. Could someone please enlighten me as to what this little strip is for on the back, the little gap, the little hole? I cannot figure it out, and clearly I'm just missing something. So if you know, can you comment down below, please? Thank you. And then I have these number dies, obviously 0 through 9, and they are about 4 centimeters or so. Next up, I get tons of questions about my little squeezy bottles that I use for my Ranger Multi-Medium, and the matte finish is the one that I have, and I keep it in a squeezy bottle. So I just purchased 5 new ones of these. My daughter is definitely getting into helping me craft, and so she likes to have everything herself, so I thought I'd buy a few. So it just comes these little empty squeezy bottles, and then you just add one of these little caps and a lid, and you're good to go. These are the syringes that I also buy off AliExpress, and I just sort of suck it up and squirt it right back in to the container, and that is the easiest way that I have found to put the glue into these containers. If you have any great ideas, share them down below because I would love to know, but this is definitely the easiest way that I have found. So making sure that I put this little plastic cap on really good ensures that it doesn't get clogged up and the glue doesn't dry out. So anyway, these are the bottles that I use with my glue at the moment. Now, some people have said to me that they are still having problems with getting them clogged up and things. I have seen people use pins that go down the middle, like metal pins, or the little clothing tags that come, the little plastic clothing tags are really good. I think it may also have something to do with the climate different climates that we live in, is whether they get clogged easy. I'm not sure. I don't have the answers, I'm afraid. Anyhow, moving on, I have a couple of die cuts now, and I'm just putting a black background in so that you can kind of see it nice and easy because I die cut it with white paper. That is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of black paper, so you can kind of get an idea of the size of this one. So there's this one. These are, yeah, as I said, these ones are really pretty. I got a few really pretty ones this time around. So there's that one, and then the next one I have is this kind of corner floral arrangement. It just has some flowers and some leaves, and kind of, I think you could fit 2 of them on a card. This is what it looks like when it's cut out. Again, this is in white. This is 80-pound Tanita Solar White, and it cut beautifully. And then this is some blue watercolor wishes paper from Lawn Fawn. That is pretty thin paper, and I must admit the 80-pound paper did cut better. It was just easier to get out of the die. And then I think that I have left my favorite one for last. I could not help myself but start making some cards with this one. This one is really pretty, and you'll be able to see here I've cut it out with some black cardstock, and it is actually gorgeous. Again, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper in the background that it's sitting on, just to give you an idea of the size of it. So this one I have already made some cards with, and there will be a video coming up super soon. Last but not least is this double-sided tape here. I have not tried it. It's just a nice wide double-sided adhesive. So I will let you know how I find it. It's almost 2 inches wide, or just shy of 5 centimeters. So I will get using that in the next little while and let you know how that goes. That's all the goodies that I've got to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me this time, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.